I consider myself an even-tempered man. Takes a lot to get under my skin. But congratulations, you just won this solid gold episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Reflux capacitor, fluxing, crew to stations. Scanning for Atlantis, the Lost Empire, 2001. Prepare to rewind in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the Master Atlantean Interrupter Powers.
Hey, let's go find Atlantis.
Sure, let's do it right now.
Yeah.
Also, for this this journey to Atlantis and discussion of the film Atlantis: The Lost Empire, we welcome back aboard ship's entertainer Daryl Hafner. Hey, Daryl.
How's it going, Francisco? How's it going, Paul?
Hey.
Going quite well.
So far, so good.
Indeed. And we were going to have a second guest, but our thoughts and prayers are with him. He's, I think he got out of the eye of Hurricane Ian, because that was happening when we record this back in 2022. I know you're probably listening to this way in the future in 20XX, but we did record
20XX?
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully he's doing well. Now that you have a quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the projection specs for Atlantis: The Lost Empire?
Oh, not Milo Returns.
No.
Oh, The Lost Empire. Okay. Sure.
The
Lost Empire was released June 22nd, 1984. And runs an hour and 23 minutes. It runs and is rated R. It was written and directed by Jim Wynorski.
Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Oh.
Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Dang it. Hold
the
on.
colon, the grammar symbol. Not like someone's colon.
Oh, that's it. Thank you. I would have watched the wrong movie again. Hold on. Okay. Atlantis, space, The Lost Empire, was released June 15th, 2001, and runs an hour and 35 minutes. This is the movie, not the video game, right?
Yes, the movie.
Okay, good.
It better be. I haven't played no games.
It's rated PG and is directed by Gary Trousdale and Kirk Wise. It was written by Tab Murphy, Kirk Wise, and Gary Trousdale. They like to get their names in there. And with lead stars being Michael J. Fox, Jim Varney, and Corey Burton. And music was composed by James Newton Howard. Are you ready for the box office trivia?
I'm ready. Daryl, are you?
Absolutely.
And everyone live here, you're welcome to join us in as well. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay. Atlantis: The Lost Empire was made for about $90 million. Wow.
Oh, okay.
And it earned over $180 million at the box office. So given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 2001? We'll go for the top 50.
Top 50. Okay, Daryl, what is your guess?
28.
28. My guess is going to be... I was going to double that, but that would be 56. So we'll go with 48. 48.
Okay.
For me, in chat, we have 45 from Ashley. Why are your prices riding me, Ashley? 25 from Dale, 50 from Stacy. Paul, where did it end up in actuality?
According to the numbers.com, it came in at 23. So Dale
23.
wins. Congratulations,
Wow.
Dale.
Good job, Dale. And Daryl was second closest with 28, but good job. Wow, that's awesome. Good job, Atlantis. And you know what? Maybe there's a reason that it did so well. Maybe it even has to do with some likes and dislikes. But we'll get into those later. I want to say thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we will get into once Alice has located our target film.
Did you say dissuction?
I guess we'll find out later in the edit.
Alert, alert. Approaching target. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
January 29th, the journey begins.
Make us proud, boys!
The mystery unfolds.
This is for real.
And the legend comes to life.
Welcome to Atlantis.
Atlantis, the Lost Empire. Own it on Disney DVD and video this Tuesday.
I don't really remember clamshell DVDs, but what things did we remember about Atlantis, the Lost Empire? Let's find out in our Memory Mind Meld synopsis. The suction. Marty McFly is an animated archaeologist named Milo who studies the ancient and lost civilization of Atlantis and gets a rich packer who believes everything he's doing. Stuart Little and ragtag crew journey to Atlantis and find them having amazing technology and a secret power source that keeps their city alive. A mole on Alex Pekin's ship steals something from Atlantis and it implodes. Yeah, that was
The end.
3 ways from Sunday wrong, so we were definitely decepted. Based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what rating did they lead you to predict for the film before rewatching it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? I'm curious, everyone live here in chat, what did you guys say too? But Daryl, what was your prediction for Atlantis?
My prediction was nostalgic.
Nostalgic? Paul, how about you?
I saw this in the theater and enjoyed it, but I haven't seen it since. So I have not really much of a desire to see it, so I predicted nostalgic.
Nostalgic. I saw this in theater too, but not since, and I didn't like it, so I predicted tragic.
That makes sense.
Who would have thunk it?
Hey, this was before my Disney hating times.
This is where it began.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe.
The seeds were being watered at this point.
Oh my goodness. Then live here, Ashley predicted nostalgic, Dale nostalgic, D-Tungsten, spin me right round. That's not a rating, D-Tungsten. But okay. And that's what we have from live in chat. It'll be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's get into the things we liked most about Atlantis, the Lost Empire. Let's spin up our
Best 3.
All right, guys. Let's start with Daryl. What is one thing you really liked about Atlantis, the Lost Empire?
I'd say I'll call them the main crew. Just all their personalities and everything, and just you could tell I'll say the voice actors like had a lot of fun just doing the characters and everything.
Yeah.
I love each individual personality and not the fact that it's like the mechanic was the lady, the doctor was like this big, huge buff guy. So like they didn't hit all the stereotypes. They like tried to like change it up a bit.
Yeah, and Milo wasn't at all a nerdy archaeologist. No way.
No, not at all. He was about the one stigma that you got, but
yeah.
But
that's awesome. You know what? I'm totally going to be talking about the crew later, but I'm going to mum's the word right now. Let's go to Paul next. Did you like the crew, or was there some other element you enjoyed?
I enjoyed the ragtag Dirty Dozen bunch there. But something else I found that I enjoyed surprising was the music and the score. That
James
a lot
Ian
of
Howard.
the like dramatic moments was really emphasized, and I think it raised the level up a quality with the score. And I thought it really added to the movie.
Awesome. And totally fine if you want to save this for later, but I'm curious, did you feel like there was anything missing, there not being a vocal songs that was just score?
No, but what I did find missing was a memorable theme.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
I mean, good job,
James Ian Howard.
Yeah, James, but you forgot like the essential hook.
Dun, dun, dun,
Exactly. Something that keeps coming back for more. But I thought the music really amplified this movie in a good way.
Very cool. Very cool. Something for me that really amplified this movie in a good way were the really beautiful backdrops. Like all of the backgrounds in this were very vibrant and detailed. So I really found those to be really masterpieces. I feel like you could take any of those, and this was honestly similar to The Road to El Dorado. I feel like you could take so many of those background. I guess are they considered matte paintings when it's an animated movie?
It can be. Depends on the material used.
Okay, well, the background shots were just
You can say the
very-
background.
The backgrounds, yeah. So I really appreciated the attention to detail put into those. Hafner, what really caught your attention in this viewing of Atlantis?
I think something that was fun was just Mr. Whitmore.
Frasier's dad? Is that who that was?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I might actually put Packer in there by mistake. It was meant to be the
Preston
backer.
Whitmore.
The backer. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Okay.
Voiced by John Mahoney.
Yes,
Just like his whole personality, but it's just like, I'm doing this because I'm honoring your grandfather. And then even at the end where it's like, it's very clear they found something. He's just going along with it. Like, you guys didn't get anything, but just like, he realizes it's better off if it's kept a secret.
Stays a secret. Absolutely. Yes.
That whole character, while a small part, it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah. A character for me that I wouldn't say resonated with me, but I really appreciated was James Gardner as Rourke, the main villain.
Really?
I thought he was a good villain because he had clear motives. It wasn't like he's just after profit. I get it. That's not hard to understand. But he wasn't maniacal about it. He's just like, oh, you're in my way. Well, you have to die. But if you'll play ball here, I don't see I need to hurt you.
What I thought his character was really well rounded and established and believable because even throughout most of the movie he plays a good guy he's very like, okay, everybody, let's stay on mission, and he wasn't like mean about it. He was just very like, all right, calm down, let's stay focused, he was a very good leader.
Yes. He just had poor motives, but definitely a good leader. And I think you just said, he's felt well-rounded because of that, and he wasn't just this one-dimensional or two-dimensional villain. He had some weight to him. So that's something else I liked. Paul, what was there a character you seemed to gravitate to, like Daryl, or was something else really interesting for you about this film?
Yeah, what was interesting to me was not only the background designs, but just like the electric blue patterns throughout it all. I think really enhanced those designs as well. So the imagery, not only the backgrounds, but even like the characters had some of the designs on their bodies and faces.
The tattoos or whatever.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys, suppose those were tattoos or face paint. I guess for Kita, she had the same markings from childhood to adulthood, so I imagine they were tattoos. I assume
it's tattoos because Milo gets some at the end too.
Like
you can see it on his arm or whatever it was.
Yes.
And according to the behind the scenes, they referred to them as tattoos. So I don't know if they established that or they meant to say that, but that's what they called them. So we can call them that too.
Okay, cool. Very, very cool, guys. Well, then that just leaves our classic makers, the things we loved most about Atlantis, the Lost Empire. I'm going to just kick mine off because I feel like it's not that big of a deal. But it actually, I think it really impacts, brings a lot of weight to the movie. But we haven't really talked about Milo at all. The facial animations that the animators did for Michael J. Fox's character of Milo were just superb. There was just so much emotion in so many frames, especially when he's getting heated. Oh my God, it's almost like I was watching an actual live person. I felt like it was that good. How they modeled his frustration, his joy, all those elements. I thought it was really well done. So that was my classic maker, was the animation of Milo's face. Face. Daryl, I'm curious, what did you love the most about Atlantis?
I'd say probably just the comedy and the one-liners. Just like one, I think somebody had in the what do you guys remember that Paul does? Huh? Just like, hey, look, I made a bridge, and it just like the cheesy one-liners and stuff like that. Just they added a good amount of comedy. Like they didn't overdo it, but it's just like when Kita's getting ready to jump in the water, she's like, pretty girl, pretty good. Yeah. And just little things like that where it's just like, I would believe that would actually come. That makes sense. You just like
yeah. A part that I got a chuckle out of was when Sweets, the doctor, is examining Milo for the first time, and he's just like go boom, 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 boom. I thought that was fun. There's another element that made me chuckle, but I'm struggling to remember exactly what it was. But yeah, there are definitely comedic moments in this, and I don't know if they're necessarily more or less than other Disney films, but I feel like you certainly need something like that if you're going to forego like singing songs that are sung.
And they it didn't all come from one person. Like they didn't have like the funny guy.
Right.
Yes.
Although Mrs. Packard, the old lady, voiced by Florence Stanley.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, Marge.
She had several one-liners that I had to go, wait, let me rewind that and re-listen to what she said. She had some good ones that you have to like break it down. Okay, that's...
I was totally getting Miraz vibes from Monsters, Inc. from her.
Now that you say that, I can,
Are they the same actress by any chance? Or am I completely... is it just coincidence?
It's coincidence.
Coincidence, okay.
Sorry, I'm looking that up right now.
That's
why I'm
fine.
But she did play in a Goofy movie.
Give us your classic maker. Dude, double duty here.
All right. I think she would have something to say about that line. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I really enjoyed, and I think I forget what movie we talked about this, but I really enjoyed the voice performance of Michael J. Fox. His enthusiasm that he brought. It was good to hear him again. It's been a while. I know in the 90s he did a lot of voices like Stuart Little and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's just good to revisit and hear him like, I remember this. And and I'll tell you what, John Mahoney, who did the backer, as you said, I loved what he brought to his character, just his voice quality. I wish that there was more of him in this because I really enjoyed the voice performance that he brought to this film.
Absolutely. All right, so we got voices, we got facial animations, we have humor. Awesome. There's so much. There are several things about this movie to like, apparently. And you know what? Forgot one more thing I liked. I'm sorry, guys. It's like, without fail, I can't seem to remember.
Every time.
The Untold Podcast. The Untold Podcast is a speculative fiction podcast utilizing the genres of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, among others, in order to engage the culture's imagination from a Christian worldview. Every month, Nathan James Norman produces and narrates a new story presented in a unique and dynamic way. Check out the Untold Podcast at www.untoldpodcast.com to listen and leave them a review on Apple Podcasts.
I'm sorry, I was zoning out because I don't see what that has to do with the Atlantis.
Okay, so Plato's document, he sort of apparently it's okay, Paul. You don't know a lot. You don't know. You're not like a Atlantis aficionado like me.
I just know
but
Plato doesn't taste as good as it looks.
I'm talking here.
Okay.
Atlantis. Master Interrupter.
Yes.
Atlantis. Plato's description of Atlantis ends like halfway through. Like if you go back and read his manuscript or wherever, apparently it ends halfway through and you don't get to finish how he talks about Atlantis. So the rest of the Atlantis story is untold.
Oh.
So that's the connection.
There you go.
Well, according to the movie, he said it disappeared overnight. So
yeah, but
what more is there to tell?
In the actual Atlantean manuscript, which I assume is right because it was mentioned in IMDb trivia.
Oh, great. That's a very loose tie-in.
What are you talking about? It's perfectly tied in. What you want? You want something more tied in, like trivia or something?
Yeah, let's talk more about trivia about this movie.
Oh, well, okay, I guess I could do that.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe. Did you all realize that early in the submarine's journey all the crew gets on this big submarine that looks a lot like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. At least that's the vibe I was getting.
Yeah.
So early on in the submarine's journey, there's an order given. 15-degree down angle on the bow planes, come right 240. This is exactly the same order given in The Hunt for Ragtober from 1990 by Captain Borodon as Red October begins navigating the Red Route 1. And I actually went back and looked. It is exactly the same. I went to a clip from Red October. It's the same one.
I just thought all submarines said that.
Speaking of all submarines, my question to you is, what is your favorite submarine movie? So we'll start with Paul. What is your favorite?
Yellow Submarine.
That's not a movie. That's a music video.
Yes, it is. There's a movie called Yellow Submarine. It's animated by the Beatles.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
But that's not my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Now, what is the question? My favorite?
Yeah, just your favorite submarine movie.
Because some of my go-tos are 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, if you count that, or Hunt for Red October, a classic that we read. But if I had to pick one, it would honestly be Down Periscope. That is by far, no way, a better movie than any of the movies that I just named. But that is probably, like, if I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch one, I'm going to enjoy that one.
Wow. I can't disagree. Sideshow Bob at his peak, for sure. Wow. Oh, my goodness. No, John Mahoney isn't in that. I'd be like, that'd be too weird if Fraser's dad was also in that, but it's someone else.
Yeah.
Daryl, what is your favorite submarine movie?
So I'm trying to think. I remember Hunt for Red October a little bit. I'm trying to think. Was Denzel Washington? I know he's done a few war ones. Was he in a submarine one where he's like fighting over?
Yes,
like,
Crimson Tide, which is my personal favorite. Crimson Tide.
Right.
Cool.
I'm remembering parts from a few different ones.
Okay.
If you put them all together, it's a pretty cool movie.
Absolutely.
Oh,
so we'll take Sean Connery and put him on the ship with Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
For Crimson October. It's perfect. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if I've ever actually sat and watched either of them, just sat down and watched them. But just like I've seen them on TV and stuff like that. So
awesome. Well, live here in chat, Dale says Hunt for October. D-Tungsten says Yellow Submarine is a movie. Okay, thank you, D-Tungsten. Critic, welcome. Critic says Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Is that what that's called?
That's an ensemble cast with
Bill Murray, I know, but yeah. But I think there is a submarine in there.
Yes, says, with Steve Zissou. You're right. Yeah, is the full.
Baba says Yellow Submarine. D-Tungsten says 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And then I think that is Jail says Operation Petticoat.
Yeah,
it's a close second. I haven't ever seen that. Thank you, everyone live in chat, for your answers.
Great trivia, Francisco. Now that we've all had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, our awesome rewinders, had about Atlantis, the Lost Empire.
All right, Drew Dodgen says, "You have to stab the debt."
Celeste Morris says, "Hey, look, I made a bridge." Sorry, it's more of a French. "Oh, hey, look, I made a bridge."
Do you need me to take this one, Paul? Because I have an Cajun accent. "Hey, look, I made the bridge."
Not quite. I thought you meant you were going to take Wardell White's what he said.
Oh, I'll do that.
Okay.
One of the last VHSs I ever bought. Michael J. Fox, classic maker. James Garner, tragic maker. It felt like he was reading his lines other than performing. Really? Okay, I didn't get that sense at all, but that's fair. Great effects, great movie overall.
Well, I can kind of see what he's saying. I mean, I enjoyed James Garner. He's a wonderful actor. I enjoy him in things, but his voice is very kind of clear and is like this, but the style of the character looked older and more gruff. I'm surprised he didn't go for more of this, and look rather than, "Hey, I'm just James Garner, here's my voice." So I did
enjoy this one line, swinging back to the comedy real quick, about James Garner. Early on in the movie, he says I forget, they're talking about movies, and he says, "I prefer westerns myself," and he was Maverick in the Western Maverick, which is fun.
Matthew Crosby says, "Never seen it myself."
Thanks, Matthew. And then Dave Bobke says, never saw it. Oh, okay. But one of the characters looks like he's gonna steal my Cookie Crisp. Cookie Crisp. Which character, though?
Probably
Moliere. If you look at him, he looks like a burglar.
Could see that. Yeah, I could see that. All right. Thank you all for sharing your memories. And none of them. Let's see what we wish was stolen from this movie. That's about as best a segue as I can come up with for our dislike section. Let's spin them up.
Cookie crisp.
Worst 3.
All right, guys. Let's get into the things we didn't like about Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Paul, I'm going to kick it to you first.
We talked about this before about the style of 3D versus 2D.
Yeah,
I thought the combination didn't work for me, especially like in the vehicles. I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, it looks like they're not there really.
Yeah.
I think it works better than past movies we covered, but still,
it's getting better. But what I thought, and this is just a personal thing for me, I thought really what worked really well is when the backgrounds were 3D, like moving, like they did that aerial 360 shot.
Yes.
I thought that was cool. I know some people don't even like that, but I do. I thought that was good. But a lot, especially at the beginning, like the opening scene with the flying things and the waves, it felt choppy. It felt like a direct-to-video sequence, and I don't know if it's because they were still working with the technology with 3D and 2D, but I thought, am I putting on the sequel that's direct-to... I had to stop it and make sure I wasn't watching the direct-to-video because...
I felt the same way. It looked like paper almost cutouts were coming toward me or something. Yeah, it didn't quite... They didn't merge them well, composite them. It's like the compositing of the 3D with the 2D just wasn't kind of for whatever reason.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that's what it was. Now that you're saying it, I can really see it. I thought it was an animation style, but now that you're saying 2D and 3D, now I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, yeah, I do see what you're talking about there.
Yeah,
it doesn't congeal well with the rest of the film, so it kind of takes you out a little. Yeah.
Gerald, what took you out of the film?
It was early on, and it almost sounds like Milo had been nagging at the museum a while, but I kind of thought it was kind of dirty the way they did him at the beginning. We're changing your meeting to 3:30,
right? After it's already
at 4:00, and it's just like, so for them to basically not even hear him out.
Yeah,
I thought that was. I mean, it sounds like based on when he does find them, like maybe he's been on this thing forever and they're just tired of it. But it's like, dude, just hear him out. I mean, maybe he's actually got something to make it worth your while.
Yeah, totally. Though I did get the sense that he'd been trying to propose things to them a lot of the same ilk, and it's like no. So, but it's I get your point there. Just say no, we're not going to have a meeting with you instead of like canceling on him like that.
Canceling and not even canceling like the day before. It's like, no, we're gonna push it back to a time that's already happened, and it's just like, the way they handled it. It's like, really, guys? No.
Yeah.
Just no.
Ridiculous. Paul, what's something that was? Actually, no. I'm gonna go next.
Fine.
Something that was ridiculous for me.
Steal my time. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. So you know how I said the face of Milo is great?
Yes.
And this goes for all the characters, but Milo's the first one I saw it with. What is up with this choice to make triangles? I hate triangles. Stop it with making the nails triangles. Oh, it annoys me so much. That's a style
choice, yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that style choice.
I guess I didn't even notice it.
Here, let me find a screenshot.
It's like brick fingers, like squared off rectangles, and then the triangle nails on all the characters.
No, I don't doubt you at all, but I definitely did not look, I guess, close enough at their hands to notice that.
It was animated well, like it flowed and moved well.
Yes, but okay, here's a great shot. Here's a great shot of him. This is in the cave, but let me bring this up. It's just like, I'm not really sure why this bothers me as much as it does. It doesn't really make a lot of sense why it would, but it just gets under my skin for whatever reason. Okay, here it is.
Kind of like, the pieces of the nails are under their skin, so you can't see the
maybe
rest.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Or I actually, honestly, I think part of it is just it feels like it's lazy. Like we don't want to take the time to animate curves. We're just gonna have.
You can't blow that up because I can barely see that.
Let's see if I can.
I can see what you're talking about there.
There we go.
Did that help? Oh, sorry.
Bring it
you
down.
overdid.
There
Yeah,
it
there you
is,
go.
right there.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm
See,
sure
I see
that's.
I see what you're talking about. I didn't care enough to. I didn't notice it, so it didn't bug me.
It almost looks like reverse claws to me. I think that's what's bothering me. Like they're not claws because they're humans, but it looks like it's kind of like claws. So I think that's what my issue is. Anyway, I know that's again, it's a tiny thing. That's my first dislike, but yeah, that bothered me that was a constant thing for all of the characters. Let's go to Daryl again. What was something else you didn't like? Was it the nails?
No. I'll be honest. Okay. I didn't even notice the nails so much, but I don't know. I guess especially in the latter half, just what was it? The captain's attitude, like
Rourke, the
Rourke,
bad guy,
right? Yeah. All of a sudden, I was blanking on his name. It's just like
no worries.
As like one of the other likes I had, if people took some of my other ones, was like the crew's change in heart when they realize this is actually going to affect people. Like the one guy is like, yeah, we've done some crap things in the past, but nobody got hurt.
At least no one we knew about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the captain's attitude, like, I don't care. I'll kill an entire civilization to make a few bucks. And I'm just like, I mean, maybe obviously that's his character. What would that be? Or psychopathic or narcissistic or something?
Sociopathic, I think, yeah.
Sure. But I forget that's clearly not my
It's called the United States government wiping out the Native Americans. I mean...
And I'm sure there's all
there's
all kinds of parallels and stuff, but and obviously it's his character, but it's just like no sympathy at all, really.
Yeah.
But
I guess if I'm playing devil's advocate, it's like he's not outright killing them. He's like, well, I'm not like putting a gun to their heads and pulling the trigger. I'm just letting them die because I'm taking away their power source.
Well, and honestly, no one had ever done that, so he didn't know that it would actually kill the people and destroy the island.
Crystals were still working, even though Kita and the crystal left. So it'll be fine. But it did stop the water flow, so I think they would eventually start.
Yeah, but they didn't know that would stop the water flow.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it is super heartless, Daryl, and just to see someone like that, at least at first, you're like kind of liking, how they are.
I mean, he was the strict soldier captain, like just the guy in charge, and that's one thing. But to be like, yeah, I really don't care about any of you, and then he chucks his right hand woman off the ship because he's just like, more from me later.
Yeah, that seemed like real. That I think that really. I think that's almost the push you need to want to see him die. Before that, I feel like you just maybe want to see him captured, but they probably don't want to go through that. So it's easier to write he died and by becoming some crystal guy. But you need
that was weird.
You needed a little extra push in the fact that he's like, you stood by me the whole time and everything.
Yeah.
You're willing to take this thing with me still when everybody else ditched me. Later.
Exactly. I hope that character,
Audrey.
I thought her name was Helga.
Helga. Yes, you're right.
Okay.
Audrey is the mechanic. Sorry.
Yeah. I hope that Harrison Ford caught her hand and could bring her back up.
Oh, that's Elsa.
Oh, my bad.
He needs to let Elsa go.
Whatever. Paul, what do you wish was let go of this film?
Helga, when we first see her. No, not her.
Oh, okay.
But when we are first introduced to her, Helga's character, It's in a dark room, and she's like this blonde femme fatale, and this jazz music comes in like it's an old noir film, and the jazz music is so strikingly against the rest of the score of the film. It just completely takes it out. It feels cheesy. It's done in. It's not a subtle. If they had done like a light jazz motif over the score, the current score, kind of like hinting at it, I was like, okay, I could see. I see what they're getting, but it's like in your ear, like we are doing this jazz music here. Remember this noir style? It completely takes you out of the film. It's like, what?
And I mean, if that's where the film was going to go in that direction, then that's fine.
Right, and it didn't. It was just a moment, like kind of gag that's not funny, and it just unnecessary and takes you out. So it's very striking in a bad way.
I was going to say, and it was so opposite of her character in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that was another thing. I was expecting her to like, oh, this is someone like this, but no, she's a military woman.
Yeah, she's military type, and like that opening scene, I was getting what is it, like Jessica Rabbit, whatever? Just like that like style, like
because she has a theme that's jazz. They do that on purpose.
The jazz, the super slinky tight dress, and just like the way they had her. I'll say manhandling Milo at the beginning, just like super. It just, I definitely can agree with that, Paul.
So I'm going to push back a little bit, guys, because I feel like I got more like spy vibes, which you'd probably have some military training and hell. So I feel like it's not a complete
it's not a complete, but it's also I agree with Daryl. It's not a like. I agree with both of you. She does have that spy vibe.
Yeah,
but also it's very different from the rest of the film, like her character.
I agree with you there. Yes. Also, just a little add-on note. I wonder if it would have worked better for you, Paul, if like when Milo's going home, he passes by a jazz club, and so you hear the jazz loud, and then it's just more subtle as he gets into his apartment, like he's next to a jazz club.
If you want to make it make sense like that, that's fine. But
it doesn't. I'm just saying. I wonder if that would have helped you buy it more, maybe, instead of this is out of place.
Exactly, very out of place.
Yeah. So for me, okay. So I'm gonna just give you a bonus one because these are both sort of slight. These are like ones that just don't make sense. I'm putting this in the category of like this doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So that's
here are two examples that doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
Where is Atlantis' light source coming from? The crystal is buried, we find out. So where are they getting light?
And why is it bright as the sun?
Right?
That's fair. I didn't even think of it, but yeah, no, that's fair.
And all the water just flows from the top mountain. From where? I mean,
right.
I'll give you magic from the crystals from that. But yeah, well, like I said, I'll give you magic from the crystals for that. But there should be no light. So that part's, I'm like, what? So that didn't make sense to me. Also, it didn't make at all sense to me why, and I understand you would have to establish another character for this. I don't care. Do it. Because it doesn't make sense to me why the king would entrust Milo with the crystal to go find his daughter instead of like another Atlantean, maybe a warrior or someone else that's like a trusted person that he has been with for a long time. No, this stranger. Oh yeah, you go save my daughter. Where does this come from?
Or have 3 seconds of where the king sees Milo take the crystal and start the engine. So like, this guy can use the crystal.
Yeah, sure. What were you gonna say, Daryl?
I thought he trusted him just because like when he first came in, like he could tell Milo was there, for lack of a better term, for the right reasons. He could see like his enthusiasm. He really he loved the culture. He loved Atlantis.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm going to trust you because I know you want to save my people and you're in the room right now. So it's like, I trust you with it. you
Yeah,
care
the king
about.
has no guards, no second person,
Right.
no
He's just like-
third person if his
Yeah.
daughter is gone to say,
Yes.
hey,
So
I
yeah,
entrust the kingdom to you.
Yeah, I was getting my daughter clear. You clearly care about my daughter. You care about my people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go save them both. You're here right now.
Yeah, apparently there's
All
only
right.
30 people on the island, and you're the closest one by far. So
Yeah.
here.
Okay. All right.
That's about the only thing
guess I'll take that.
But
Yeah. I just think it would have been more kingly, more
Right.
responsible of a king to entrust it to someone that he knows rather than outsider. Especially
Yeah.
since he is so against outsiders to begin with. But
Yeah,
Right.
agreed.
but now
It
it's
doesn't
time
make
to get into the things that are way outside the bounds of what would have made for a good movie, in our opinion, our tragic makers. I'm going to go last. Let's start with Daryl.
To me, the thing that kind of was most unbelievable, I'll say for me, was actually at the end where I'll say the crew had these planes that could be like shot off the back of a truck. I'm like, I get the Atlantean ships, I get the trucks, I get everything else. One, where did these planes come from? Because you never saw them in the caravan. And then to be launching these single-man planes like a slingshot off the back of a truck, I'm just like, no.
I'm sorry, no.
There's a level. I understand there's a level of disbelief in some things.
Yes.
But those planes to me was just like, no, that's too much. Just like,
totally.
You need a sky battle, fine, I get it, but like, I thought those planes to be able to do that, I'm just like, no, that's a little too much disbelief.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would have been cooler, I guess, if... Never mind. I was going to do a Francisco Chavez fan fiction, but I already have one of those lined up. So I'm not going to do another one right now. But I totally agree with you, Daryl. Paul, I'm just curious whether or not that was your tragic maker as well. Did that take you out, or did you believe that? Oh yeah, that's cool.
Well, I'll tell you what. Suspension of disbelief. I can say, okay, I don't know where the source of light is coming from, but I'll suspend. I can suspend.
Sure.
The planes, I can suspend that's fine. Okay. These giant building-sized robotic, creatures come. I can suspend. That's fine. Even these taller statues, fine. That you make bridges out of by blowing up, fine. Okay. These Atlanteans who've never been to the surface can speak 30 languages. Fine. I believe that. Sure. Why not?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, sure. But the fact that they can't read their own language, nobody's passing down to their kids how to read, and all their problems of this movie, the way they set it up, would be solved if they learned how to read their own language.
Yeah.
They can do all these things, but they can't read their own language, even though they're the master of languages that have evolved over thousands of years. Like English is not English; it's not even been there, let alone French. But they can speak it, but they can't read Atlantean. Is just too far for me.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we can read and write everything but our own language.
Yeah.
I guess the only pushback I'll give to that is that I think there is an element of, especially like in oral cultures, that was something where, I don't know about speaking lots of languages, but you could retain a lot of information just through the oral tradition. As opposed
Here's
to
an oral tradition. Put the crystal in the motorcycle, turn it, put your hand on it and turn it. Try.
You know what? That's a good point. If they want to go down this route of we keep our things alive through oral traditions since we can't read, then there needs to be a lot more like carrying on in that, and they don't do that. So never mind. Good point, Paul.
It doesn't,
A bridge too far. People need to learn how to read. Hear that, kids? Learn how to read.
There you go.
Yes. All right, guys. Not quite time for the moment of truth, but here's my tragic maker.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, I hate that
Oh.
I mean, that goes without saying. But that this ensemble cast of characters that come around Milo, you got the Doctor Sweets, you got the mole guy, you got the explosives guy, you got the mechanic girl, you even have Helga and Rourke, all of them. The whole main crew, not all the soldier guys, gas masks that we don't know who they are. And I'm not talking about those guys, but the named crew that are going on these missions. I hate that their whole stories were all told, none of it shown, and they're trying to create, even with Milo, they're trying to create all this emotion for them. Like they're explaining their backstories, but I have no investment in them as characters. And I'm thinking to movies that like, okay, Milo is like, you could say is the type of Indiana Jones character. So I thought back, okay, and in the Indiana Jones movies, how do they set up Indiana Jones in a way that
they don't?
Because this movie has lots of trappings of things I would like, that like the people come together, each of them has a certain specialty that's cool, and they're all gonna come together for this mission. I like that. So, but I'm like bored out of my gourd watching the first like 30 minutes of this movie. And so I'm like, so what is the difference? And I reflect, okay, Indiana Jones, you got Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's in jungle, danger, all these traps. Okay, is he going to survive? Oh my gosh. And then Temple of Doom, that starts off a little rockier. But then you get like, oh, he's poisoned. Oh crap, I was getting out of this. Last Crusade. Oh, he's trying to save this. He's trying to get this cross, get away from the bad guys. Let's see if he can do it. I mean, there's this almost a very quick adventure component of like, not only is he saving a cat in a way, but he's also trying to get away from danger, which is very like grips me.
So this just didn't grip you soon enough to pull you in.
Well, yeah, like Milo starts with you get the Atlantis is destroyed. Okay, that was cool. That was like, oh my gosh, that's tragic.
So that helps you build.
That's world building. That's world building.
And it makes you care about the characters once you meet them, like Kida.
Which is like way far into the movie.
Sure.
But Milo, we start with this like, and he's just talking to fake guys, and it's emotional because he wants to be like his grandpa. Great.
Right.
Then we finally get to
and people pick on him. They won't give him the meeting, even though he has sound.
Yeah. And so, but there's no like him saving the cat moment. I mean, that would have been nice if there was something like that. And then we get to the crew, and they're talking about the girl. Her dad wanted her to be a boy, but she's still being an engineer, and her sister's boxer. The guy wants a flower shop. All these things. They're just telling us these things. And even when they initially introduce them, they're like, this guy does this, this guy does this, this guy does this. I'm thinking, okay, what movies do this much better? And I'm thinking Ocean's 11, where you actually see these characters in their element doing their thing. Instead of telling me what they do, you show, and there's the perfect set for this. Just show these characters, like after that first, the Atlantean explosion.
Where he lays out the folders, whatever. Yeah.
Right. When Preston Whitmore, the backer. Yeah. And he's like, here's this team, like the best of the best. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't care about this team because I don't know about them.
Yeah.
Like,
so here's what you do as you lay that out, they went on this mission to get this book, and then we go to a whole sequence. This is, for instance, fabulous fan fiction is fabulous, by the way. You go to this whole sequence where you're actually seeing these characters do their jobs to get that book, that the Shepherd's book or Shepherd's Crook book thing.
Journal.
Shepherd's Journal, yeah. So because they had to go to Iceland to get it, they apparently got it, and that's how they go on this Atlantean mission. I don't think it has to be long. You could do like that in 5 minutes. This whole like
less than that. You can do it 5 seconds per character, and
each character could have a little bit of like, oh, this is how this person is good. This is the relationship that like Moliere and the demolition guy have, and you set that up. Oh, Sweets and whoever. I mean, you could do so much storytelling just visually with and have stakes for these characters. Oh, what's going to happen? I don't know if these characters survive to get this book. I know they get the book, but I feel like that would have been so much more dynamic, so much more interesting. I don't know how to set up Milo to be more interesting. I couldn't really imagine what you could do there. But I think I'm sure you could have done it. I'm sure you could have done it. Storytellers have done it in time immemorial. So that's my tragedy maker, that they bored me to death with telling me about these characters instead of showing me what they could do.
I have a bonus question for you.
Okay.
In watching the behind the scenes, the Disney.
I didn't watch the behind the scenes. There's your answer.
No, and I assume most of the listeners haven't either. So I'm building this up. They had done fairy tale movies, and they were saying, well, that we have Disneyland, and basically lately all their movies have belong in Fantasyland, but they also have this land called Adventureland.
Yes.
Like, let's like a move. They've done in the past. Walt Disney did action adventure movies like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Swiss Family Robinson and such. So let's make an animated adventure movie next. Okay. Yeah. So they're like, okay, what adventure movies do we like? Well, we like those. We like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. So let's make a movie like that. Yes. But to me, this movie, it does have action adventure, but it doesn't live up to like Raiders, for example.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm curious, and I don't know what it is, and it escapes me, but maybe you know why. What is missing from this film that would make this on par of like, hey, when people list off action adventure movies, they don't list this off. What is missing? Because it has a lot of explosions. It has some chase scenes.
So I think, well, Gerald, do you have an answer? I have a thought, but Gerald, do you have any sense of what could help with that?
I don't know. I think, I mean, it's kind of hard, I guess. I mean, there was no real defined, like, you kind of knew that the crew had an idea. They were looking for this power source, and Milo just wanted to find it for scientific reasons, but I guess the stakes, I'll say, the high stakes came in too late.
Yes. Yeah. I would agree with that assessment for sure.
So like if like maybe we got a taste of what is it, Rollins? I can never remember his name.
Rourke?
The Captain Rourke.
Rourke, yeah.
If we got a
Maverick.
A little behind the scenes, for lack of a better term, of his true character or personality a little sooner, so that we're like, oh, when is he going to double cross? Or
that'd be interesting.
Like give us, like, don't drop it for Milo or anything like that where but just give us a little sneak peek of
That's interesting, because Indiana Jones always knew the Nazis were bad. Interesting.
So just like maybe give us an idea of maybe he's not completely on the up and up, or like maybe. So actually, here's an idea for like one of your fan fictions is like Milo talks about how he thinks a page is missing.
Yes.
Right. Maybe there's like a little scene where he's talking to Helga and he has the page on the table.
Oh yeah, just that's it doesn't give a lot of focus, but that you could like go back rewatching it and see. That's he was going to back some because he has the page.
Oh, that would be interesting. Little Easter eggs that if you go in the rewatch, that's there. Yeah.
So I think it may be something like that. Just kind of make it a little more high stakes, a little sooner. Because it was like over half or 2/3 of the way through the movie before there was any high stakes. Yes, you had like, I'll call it the Kraken, or there was more of a crab. Like you had like scenes
of high stakes, but not like a through line of it.
Right. So maybe something like that
I think those are great suggestions, Gerald. Some things that I would suggest, I guess, is I think this is almost like an adventure movie that becomes a heist movie that becomes a rescue movie. It's like it's trying to do too many things at once.
Okay.
With a heist movie, you want an ensemble because you need lots of people to do the job. With an adventure movie, you just need one or two, like one main person and maybe one or two sidekicks to like then try and get your fortune and glory. You don't need a bunch of people. You need the main character, a love interest, a sidekick. You're good, and then danger. You just do that. And
Hold
then
on to your potatoes.
A rescue movie. I think what you could do is. You could have, you sort of have a sense of, like Daryl was saying, Rourke is the bad guy. So there's this, like, when is he going to turn bad? Also, I mean, they could have easily run in, like, Milo finds in the Shepherd's journal that someone says that by this year, Atlantis will be destroyed. Like, and so it's like, and he computes it. Wait, that's in like a month or something. We got to go.
Oh, so a ticking
and so there's
clock.
a ticking clock. Yeah. To we got to find Atlantis. We got to save it, or else it's going to be destroyed. And then what turns out to happen is that they bring on the destruction because it's like a prophecy, and it's
they
actually
fulfill their
Rourke
own
that's
destiny.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that's a little tropey but I think it'd still be more interesting than what they ended up doing.
Okay.
So that's
those
how
are all good answers.
For you, Paul? You said you didn't really know.
Yeah,
so.
well, the only thing that I could think of is that Indiana Jones, the first one, and the first Star Wars, A New Hope, seems to be like little, and George Lucas did this on purpose with Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's like serials. It's like little chapters. And each one has like its own little like a cliffhanger climax. Yes. But it gets bigger and bigger along the way, and there's one main goal. So I think it's missing those. But I was about to say, but it's hard with this. I mean, this does feel serialized in some ways because there's like, the cave exploration, but it doesn't, the momentum doesn't build. Like you said, like it gets big at the end rather than there's something missing in the building of it. Maybe I don't know, but I think if we combine all ours together, that would be epic.
Exactly. We'll call it Atlantis, the retro empire. That's what we call it. Yes. Anyway, guys, now that we've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer, Alice, you have a firing solution for us.
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo at the ready. On your mark.
All right, guys, time for the moment of truth. Do we rate
Ready
Atlantis?
for my salvo authority.
Atlantis, the Lost Empire, a classic. We'd recommend anyone go see this movie, whether or not you've seen it before. A nostalgic, if you enjoyed it as a kid or young adult, it'd be worth to rewatch again. Still be enjoyable for you. But if you've never seen it before, skip this one. Or do we rate it a tragic? It's worth no one's time today. If you have fond memories of this movie, don't sully them with a rewatch. And if you've never seen it before, just keep it that way. So we'll start with our guest, Daryl. What is your final rating for Atlantis, the Lost Empire? You had predicted nostalgic. Where did it end up for you?
It's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard because I could imagine me sitting down with my niece who just turned 7 and watching it with her. I think I don't know if she could sit through all of it like right now because she's 7.
Yeah, my son has a hard time sitting through long movies. It's just he just can't do it.
I actually really enjoyed the rewatch, so it's just
nice.
So I'd say like a low end classic. Like it's not like you gotta see it, but I enjoyed it. So like
very cool.
So,
okay.
So I think I was actually moved it up from
nice. Yes.
where it was.
So Paul, you had also predicted nostalgic. Did it move up for you like Daryl, or down, or stay the same?
Yeah, and I just flung a lot of poo at this movie in the last few minutes. But despite that, I still think it's a fun adventure movie that I would recommend anybody. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. So it's a classic for me. Again, I agree with Daryl. It's on the low end. You don't have to run out and see it like right now. What are you doing? You got to see this. It's not a gotta see. But I definitely recommend it to anybody. If like, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, a lot
for
of
me,
people.
guys.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. For me, I had predicted tragic.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, watching this movie again, I'm sticking with tragic. And it's not like the lowest of low tragics or anything, but I have no interest to see this movie again. I feel like just the movie we talked about, the potential. There's so much potential in this movie that's hard for me. It hurts. It hurts to watch it. It could have been. I think it could have been this really great adventure movie.
Yeah.
And so I'd be curious. Oh, go ahead.
We can't have fabulous fan fiction about movies because it just ruins it. I mean, we did that with Bill and Ted 3. We did that with what else did we do that with the Ready Player One?
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. This is one of those movies that a lot of people say is one underrated. Overall. But the other thing is this is one of those ones that they'd love for Disney to redo as a live action, and they could make these tweaks.
I think this would be interesting as a live action if they implement all our ideas.
Right. Like if they made some tweaks, I think this one could be like really cool live action.
I agree.
Okay, well let's do a quick casting. Who would you guys? We'll just do like 3 of the characters. So who would you cast as Milo in this?
So as of today,
I know it's hard to say because I don't know a lot of like current characters. I'm thinking maybe Tom Holland. He's like
that's exactly who came to mind for me. But I feel like he's a little young.
No, he's not. You know what's weird? In the behind the scenes, they were saying that Audrey, the mechanic, was and she's a teenager, was around the same age as Milo was supposed to be. Like
really?
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, I did not get that at all.
Yeah,
but okay.
No, I got that she's supposed to be really young, but okay.
Yeah, but she's supposed to be a teenager and he's supposed to be close in age. So what is that?
Okay.
I didn't get that. But anyway, Tom Holland came to my mind, but he's not like skinny enough.
Okay, that's fair.
But but he's the one that fits the bill. And I was about to say, unfortunately, Tom Holland, I think is doing a great job as what he's doing. So that's why I would cast him.
It's funny we all had the same actor pop into our head, though.
Yes, maybe Daniel Radcliffe. I guess could, but I can't think of anyone else. Okay, so that's Milo. How about Kita? Who do you think would be a good Kita?
I'm gonna blank on her actual name, but she was in Star Trek and then Avatar.
Oh, and in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Zoe Saldana?
Yes.
Yes,
She would be good.
Yeah, I think she's a little old.
Yeah, play
at
against
this point, but
to play against our Tom Holland, I agree. But I think she
just de-age her.
Yeah.
But
plus, I mean, she's supposed to be like 1,000 or something years old anyway.
That's true,
8,800 or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I think I could see her in that role.
Yeah. Okay.
She'd be good.
Yeah. Let's see. And how about Rourke? Who would play the bad Rourke?
Yeah, Ashley says Zendaya, and I thought about that with Tom Holland.
Okay,
I'm like, that's a little too.
Who is that? I don't think
Zendaya. She's MJ in the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland, the girl,
I
and
haven't seen him.
she plays in Dune anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
And she's dating Tom Holland in real life.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
So who'd you? I'm sorry. Did you say a third character?
Yeah, Rourke, the main bad guy.
You know who I think
James Gardner in real life would have been cool.
I think he's dead now, though. Didn't he die?
I thought we were doing all past. Okay.
No.
You know who I
if
think
we were to do it currently,
might be able to pull it off would be like The Rock.
Oh wait. Oh, The Rock. That'd be interesting.
I thought an old
a little bit, but. Yeah, I can see that.
I'd hate to see Harrison Ford be the bad guy, but he's old enough to.
Oh, that would be interesting. I would like that. Dale also I think this is great, for Milo, Zolo Marduena from Cobra Kai, who plays Miguel. I think that'd be a good Milo, too.
Okay, yeah.
I honestly think he might be a little short. I don't really have a great sense of how tall he is. He's probably taller than me. I can't talk, but
I'm seeing Dale's Tommy Lee Jones. That's actually, I could see that.
Oh,
yeah.
For your Rourke, yeah.
Rourke, yeah.
Yeah. Those are good suggestions, Dale. I like Harrison Ford though. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get those
could do it.
fireflies out. Cookie, butter my biscuits. Get the bibs out, Cookie. Do it. Do it now.
Do it now.
No, I thought that fire scene was actually one of the funny moments with Rourke, where he's just like, "I'm gonna kick Milo's butt." Oh crap! The place is actively on fire right now.
Yes, yes, exactly. Are you rated for this type of vehicles, Milo? Can you drive a truck? Okay, enough with my bad Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, well, according to the Retro Rewind podcast, where are we again? Final Rain. We rate Atlantis, The Lost Empire, a disputed classic movie. Recommend anyone go see this, whether or not you've seen it before. But now it's time to get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
20XX?
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
Feels good to be back.
Are you okay? Oh, you're stretching. Sorry. I thought maybe you hurt your back.
Feels good to be back. Once you've been able to get back to 2001 to begin with, or travel back to 2001. Oh, what? Paul's got a flash
Who's
of
that
inspiration.
actor that plays in the Bates TV show? Sorry.
Vince Vaughn? No, I don't know.
No, that
No.
Hotel Bates or whatever.
Yeah, what Norman Bates. He plays anyway, he might be too old, but I thought he'd be a good Milo. He might be too old. Freddie Highmore. Anyway, Google
I
him.
don't know. But anyway,
Sorry, Freddie, we're talking about you in 20XX. Anyway,
Yes.
moving on.
moving on, we wouldn't have been able to get back to 2001 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keane, Patrick Hicks, Chris Cowan, Geek Devotions, The Untold Podcast, James Canston, Drew of the Cellcash, Ashley Ruiz, Patrick Dewson, Kennethan, Redeemed Otaku, That's Our Babo, Josh Adams, D. Tungsten, Andy Lewis, Jeff, The Daberman Reviews, Tony from the Retro Days, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner, oh, he's right here!
Hey!
Rosie, in addition to 7 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you would want to help us keep flying for as low as $1 a month and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
This stream sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
And while we're thanking people, we want to give a big adventurous hug to Daryl Hafner for supporting us with his thoughts about Atlantis, the Lost Empire tonight. Daryl, where can people find you online, or is there anything cool you got going on?
Online, you can just find me on Facebook. I don't have anything particular going myself right now. The theater's doing a few things. Actually, they've got a lot going on in October. They got
cool.
a show. They got they're gonna do like a masquerade dance, and then they're gonna turn the theater into like a haunted maze type thing.
Is it Phantom of the Opera masquerade?
No, they actually
dun,
did. We did
People on
Phantom of the Opera
parade,
last year.
masquerade. Oh,
No,
okay.
Okay.
They didn't do a dance, just they did the play
Mhm.
last year. But no, I think it's gonna be more the play they're doing is called The Island of Dr. Monroe, and apparently
Oh, yeah. Moreau, or is it a different, like, is a riff on it? Is it Monroe?
No, it's based off the old movie. It's an original.
Yeah, okay.
It's an original script. Like
Oh,
somebody
okay,
in our
interesting.
theater wrote it.
Val Kilmer wrote it.
No, his name is Brian Spain. But
Val Kilmer was in The Island of Dr. Moreau. That's what I was
Okay.
gonna say.
but I've not actually seen it, so I have no idea.
You're not
But-
missing much.
But I think it's going to be themed more like that.
Oh,
But I don't-
cool.
I don't know
Okay.
for sure. But no, me personally, I'm not in anything right now, so
That's good.
I
That
don't
also
have
means you're not
anything.
in trouble.
Yeah. No, the next round of auditions will be in November, so
Mhm.
I might audition for something in the January, February, March, April block.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
Very, very cool, Daryl. Well, thank you again so much for coming back to the show and discussing Atlantis with us.
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Paul, for being an awesome friend, awesome Atlantean. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to say that. And thank you, Rewinders, new and old, for another fun voyage.
You're welcome. And you can find me, PaulJPowers.com, at PaulJPowers.
Oh, okay. And you can find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
And as Nathan just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media. And with that, Captain, we are on final approach to base, where hopefully they have not taken our power crystal.
I hope not, XO. But thank you, and thank you all for listening. And we pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for Ghostbusters 2. Da-na-na-na-na. Our next episode of the Retro Rewind Podcast.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to nav point Omega and return to base.
Can we go home now?
Not quite, because there was a young girl on that ship that's a mechanic.
Yeah.
There's something very familiar about all this.
Oh!
Ship like this, be with you to the day you die.
Retro.
Because it's a death trap.
The pod of rewind.
Pretty cunning, don't you think?
They were robbed of time, young Indy made them poor. Burnt out on dullness, what was it all for? With Firefly now, what reviews will they find? The hero of time, Retro of Rewind.
We gotta go to the crappy town where I'm a hero.
Yes, it is now another episode in our installment of covering Firefly as we drink to our Christmas episode covering the movie Serenity. What episode are we covering this time, Paul?
This time we're reviewing episode number 10, titled War Stories. It first debuted December 6th, 2002, almost 20 years ago exactly.
Wow, very cool.
So do you want to try to give us a one-sentence synopsis of that episode, Captain?
Yes. Wash and Mal are captured when they're trying to take medical supplies to sell. They're captured by Niska, who was from the semi-pilot episode Train Job. They're captured, tortured, and the crew has to get them back.
I love my captain.
That's nice, Kaylee. But yeah, let's go around, guys. Say one thing we really liked about this episode of War Stories. I'm going to start with Paul this time.
Okay. The torture scene of Mal and Wash while they're being tortured.
Oh, yeah.
As horrific as that torture is, it still got me to laugh. And that's hard to do. So I thought that was really well done, that scene.
Yes. And it didn't feel like, oh, this is just pretend. I mean, it really seems like they're hurting.
They sold that scene from every angle. So that was really well done.
Yeah. Awesome. So that scene. Daryl, what did you really enjoy about this episode?
For me, I will admit, I watched the first time I was on this, we reviewed like episode 5. And I was able to binge all up to 5.
Okay, nice.
And I hadn't been able to I hadn't watched it since.
Okay, that's fine.
And I didn't have time, so I jumped to 10. So I don't know the crew's camaraderie in the last 4 episodes, but I love the fact that they all came together.
Yeah.
We're all, especially like the second half where they're all like, we're all going to save these two.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
that's one of the things I liked about this as well. And by the way, you don't have to see all the other episodes to watch this one because the Fox executive networks felt the same way. They mixed them all up and put them in any order.
Right. Yeah, so I just wasn't sure if they had developed some like closeness in the other episodes. So I feel it was just new to me, but I really sensed the crew's like camaraderie and like we're all in this together a lot in this episode. So
gotcha. Were you watching on DVD, Hafner, or did you watch it somewhere else?
Hulu.
Okay, so I watched on Tubi, which is essentially the same as Hulu, for as far as Firefly is concerned, and they gave sort of a recap that I thought.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
my DVDs didn't give a recap.
What? Why wouldn't they do that? What's wrong with them?
Yeah.
No, so this gave a good recap that I think hit on all the major points.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think you really missed too much.
You didn't miss anything, but for me, this was the most action. Like as far as like shoot them up and come together. Yeah. And Bentley agrees.
Yes, of course. Well, I'm glad Bentley agrees. So what did you like, Gerald? I think you set up
the camaraderie, just the way they all went in together to rescue the captain, and I'm gonna forget the character's name. Wash.
Wash, the pilot. Yeah.
So just the way they're all like, we're going in together because we know the captain would do it for us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, for me, I loved. There's a lot that I really liked about. I mean, I think both of you touched on really great points. I think I like how I like seeing Wash's and Zoe's marriage. I think because there are times where there is hardship and there's frustration, there's squabbles. So I'm glad that they had that, and they also were they found understanding, and they were able to resolve the issues they were going through. So that was just nice to see. And I thought it was fun how Mel was like, your husband says we need to get together. And that was just really funny.
I thought it was fun, but I thought that was a little too forced.
Okay, I think it was trying to be forced. He wasn't being serious.
Yeah, but it was a little too much. But anyway, I don't know how it could have been done.
It's a little too rough. I got you.
Yeah,
okay, Paul.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, what was even too much for you, Paul? So much so that you disliked it.
I like the character of Wash, but when he basically sabotaged the shuttle so that only he could go, I thought it was very, what I feel is beneath his character. I was like, you don't need to go that far. Try to think of some other clever way to get him there instead of Zoe or something. I just thought it was, yeah.
That's fair. How about you, Gerald? What did you not like about this episode?
I actually really liked this episode, so I kind of had to reach a bit.
That's fine.
But for me, I kind of wish we saw what happened to, I'll say, the
Niska?
main bad guy.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I couldn't actually kill him or whatever the captain said.
Or show him going away in the escape pod. So like that threat is still out there.
The threat's still out there, or like we captured him and sent him to the proper authorities or something. It's just like, all right, we rescued the captain. We saw the one guy die. What happened to our main bad guy?
Yeah, exactly. That would have been nice to have some resolution there. I kind of get having it sort of open. I think it still has this looming danger element to it. Sure. But there is also almost an aspect of feeling like he was killed somehow.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I had forgotten that you don't know that. Like I thought he did die in this.
Maybe.
Anyway, the thing I didn't like about this is they established Kaylee and River playing at the beginning and stuff, and then at the end when I don't fault Kaylee for not being able to shoot and just being overcome with fear, because that's the first time she's in that situation. But then when River is like saves her essentially, and then she doesn't want to like hang out with River anymore. It's like, I feel like that's the time you lean into that friendship and being like, hey, I know she's doing this. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but are you okay? Or I mean, just instead of avoiding, and I feel like that's just driving a wedge between you, and then could lead to worse things.
That's another thing that I felt was too forced. Have that strong of a reaction towards her.
Exactly. So that's the thing I didn't like. But would we actually, let's go real quick. What character did you gravitate to the most in this episode before we get to whether or not we'd continue watching based on this episode? Gerald, what character did you like the most, or did you feel the most connected to in this episode?
I think, as odd as it sounds, I actually liked Shepard
Yes.
The way he just stepped up and is like
kind of fuzzy on the subject of kneecaps.
Yeah, exactly. And just like cheesy things like that, or just like, I need you to hold these grounds, and he takes those shots and he's like, understood. Like, I got this.
Yes.
So I just thought his character, there was like, like I said, I've missed 4 episodes, but I just liked the character development, at least in this episode, where he's just like, I don't like it, but this is what needs to be done, and let's do it.
He's stepping up.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Awesome. Paul, what character did you gravitate to the most?
Gotta go with my man Wash.
What? Not Niska? I could have sworn it would have been Niska here.
Yeah, right. No, I enjoyed. Finally, we get more Wash after 9 episodes. The 10th episode, I was like, oh wow, finally.
Yes, I appreciated his. He seemed to like have a new appreciation for his wife and everything.
Now that didn't feel forced as far as the story was concerned.
No,
that was a nice
natural
arc.
Yes.
He's just like, this is what you guys deal with. Okay, I get it. I don't want to do this again.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just fly the ship. For me, the character that I gravitated to the most, I think it's almost a toss up between Wash and Mal.
Mal was my second.
Yeah, I'll probably say, Book was good too.
I felt a lot of the characters. This was a good ensemble episode. Yeah.
I laughed. I heartily laughed for a substantial amount of time after that moment where I forget who's asking Simon, how'd you feel about this first time in a gunfight? How does that make you feel? It's like, man. I mean, I've never really shot anyone before. And Book says, I won't worry about it, son. I'm pretty sure you haven't shot anyone yet. That was so funny to me. And burn! Yeah, exactly.
I still don't think you have, man. You're good.
Yeah. I'll go with, just for sake of being different, I'll go with Mal. I really appreciate him and how he's able to just keep Wash going and all that. That was really cool. Okay, guys. So based on this episode, would we continue watching Firefly into the future? Or would this be like, no, I'm done. I'm done with this series. Let's start with me. I would definitely keep watching because I love Firefly and this was a great episode. So Paul, how about you?
This was one of my favorite episodes, maybe my favorite episode.
Oh, really?
So I'd continue watching, at least so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like like you said, the camaraderie. Everybody's playing a part. Mm-hmm. It had a lot of action in it. This was a good episode.
Yes. Daryl, how about you?
So, based solely on this one, I'd say yes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time I reviewed, pretty sure I said, probably not.
Mm-hmm,
so based on like the first 4 or 5 episodes, whatever it was, but if more of them were like this, I would definitely be watching a lot more.
I agree. I wish more of them were like this.
Yeah. So if you're, I forget if you like the last one, Paul, Ariel, very much.
I don't remember which one was Ariel.
Where they go to the Alliance Hospital. It's a heist one.
Yeah, but I felt, I did. Yeah, it's a heist one, so it's fine.
The next episode, Trash, is also a heist one. So if you like that style, there you go. But, okay, guys, well then, awesome. Thank you for your thoughts on Firefly, and we'll continue this, I believe, next episode. We're going to be doing now through the end of the year. We're going to be doing each episode having Firefly, Paul. Is that right? Or am I misremembering?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well,
strap in.
Until next time, stay shiny.
And good night.
Don't let the space bugs bite.